Hello everyone, welcome. This is EFM for All Conversation on Entrepreneurship in Action. My name is Nurul and welcome to Creative Minds, a series in collaboration with Kaki Seni Junior, a platform which enables parents and children to learn and explore their creative minds. Today we are speaking to Nik Haslinda Hew, also known as Mekkolupo in the art scene, a talented multidisciplinary artist who expresses her creativity through films, television, performing arts, and visual arts. She has over 20 years experience in Malaysian film and TV industry. Now she's among the artists on the Kaki Seni Junior platform, sharing her vast knowledge with children all over Malaysia. Welcome to Nik Haslinda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. I'm really curious about your nickname. So therefore, can you tell us a bit about yourself and the story behind Mekkolupo?
Well, Mekkolupo is actually my artist name. So I would say that most people who recognize me through my art would know this name. And actually, Mekkolupo is always quite difficult to pronounce. In a way, it's actually came from a Kelantan dialect. So it's taken from Kelantan dialect. So it's Mek means lady, Kolupo means Kuala Lumpur. So a lady from Kuala Lumpur. So that's me. I'm from Kuala Lumpur in Kelantan dialect.
So now that is your in visual art. You saying that is your past 3 years you're using that name for your visual artist. So apart from that, what other things do you do?
I'm a freelancer, so I basically still work in the film and television industry. But on the side, I do performing arts and also visual arts. So basically, I live as an artist who also contributes in film and television as well as performing arts. But at the moment, because of the pandemic, it's a bit challenging because I guess most of us don't really have the same momentum as it was before. But so far, I guess I'm glad that I have another way to contribute by having the skill in visual arts. So yeah.
Despite the many things I do, one thing that I couldn't stop myself from doing is to keep creating. I've never imagined or planned to be an artist. The truth is, for many years I was afraid to share my drawings and my sketchings and my paintings. They were all just kept in the drawers just for my own keeping. But only in 2018 that I decided to share my artworks openly. It all happened when a huge aha moment struck me. I wouldn't end up as an artist if it weren't for all my teachers in my art journey, of course, but especially a particular aha moment I had with an artist I met at her art exhibition. It was called Aha Moments. So it was an aha moment for me at an aha moment exhibition. Well, before my passion for visual arts and filmmaking, there was dance. I was formally trained in Malaysian traditional cultural dances since the age of 9. I was part of a children cultural performing arts group called Tunas Budaya, which was developed under the Complex Budaya Negara KBN. So that was way back in the 1990s, yeah.
So with your vast experience, and then I see from your Facebook and Instagram, you have been conducting classes. How did you get to be part of Kaki Seni Junior platform?
It's also because I have always been following Kaki Seni, and I've also done some projects that I've done previously with Kaki Seni. So as soon as they announced about Kaki Seni Junior, I was very excited about it because finally there's a platform for artists like me and people out there who's got talent to share with people, and it's a good platform because it's actually a website where everyone can have a closer look of what we offer.
true. So you are among the first who get to know the news of the platform and
Not,
to
not
offer
exactly.
the service.
Not exactly. No, not exactly. Because actually, I didn't know about it at first until a friend of mine actually informed. He kind of like tagged me on the posting on Instagram. He said, "Lele, you should join this. You know, this is something that you should do." And I was, oh, okay, all right. So I went and registered, and yeah. So
So I thought you are in the insider group. So like
no, 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 no. No, it doesn't work like that.
So the offerings of the classes that you put on the Kaki Seni Junior platform, can you share with us what are the classes and give us some overview of it?
Okay. Basically, the classes that I've got online on kakisenijunior.com, at the moment I've got only named 3 workshops. They are shadow play. It's basically learning how to make wayang puppets and also learn shadow play. The second one is more of art bonding session of different kinds of various of arts, like coffee painting, acrylic painting. So that are mostly for bonding sessions. So it's not just specifically for children, but parents and children, and people who wants to have like a group session, like a family session. It's also available. And the other one is actually visual editing. It's a visual editing workshop where you'll be learning a lot of the editing techniques and how to utilize softwares and how do you edit a particular video. And it's very hands-on. Most of my workshops are hands-on. And there's one more workshop that is currently on Kaki Seni Junior. I guess a lot of people, when they saw it, they would think it's a therapy. It's a therapy session, but it's not exactly a therapy session. I would say it's more like an art session where I would introduce a method to utilize art and to identify feelings through the process of art.
So I guess this is the soulful journey and self-discovery section, is it?
Right.
Soulful journey and self-discovery. That's the class, right?
Yeah. Art soulful journey and self-discovery. So basically, it's where I would introduce participants to understand how do they navigate their feelings through art. Yeah.
So can you just share a bit, like, is it like, all right, you express, like you say an emotion and then that get the children to draw that emotion, or this is
yeah. So it's basically about incorporating art with your emotions, and then throughout the session they will be painting different types of emotions, and then to understand, and from there they would understand the feelings, and then how do they then look at the painting or look at that artwork to see and understand themselves.
Wow, interesting. But it's a group work, right? So they know each other's painting, they know each other's feeling. The discovery is in a group.
The discovery is as individual, but also as a group. So which means in the session there will be, like, let's say there's a group of 5. Let's say 10 the class, and then they would all discover and experience all the process. But at the end of the session, they will all share what they've learned and how do they adapt with understanding the feelings through paintings. And what's important is also that this particular workshop is actually quite unique because it's a combination of all of the other workshops that I've got. So which means whatever that you are learning in Art for Soulful Journey is basically you are learning whatever other else that I have in other workshops. So it's a combination of all of the other workshops into one. So it's not just about the art itself, but it's also the learning how do you adapt yourself in understanding yourself with art. So it's self-discovery as well. So which means the participants could relate themselves with what they are painting. Also to understand themselves better. In a way, sometimes there will be discoveries along the way where you can't express with words, right? So this basically an outlet for it. Yeah.
Okay, so when you describe your classes, so there is the video editing classes, the soul art for soulful journey, where there's painting, expression of feelings. So when a person or a parent register the child, is there like they have to prepare something before they attend the class, or is there a requirement before they can attend your class?
Usually, I have actually stated like information before the session. I would share like a PDF information, like a PDF file where they can refer in depth of what to prepare. But usually there's nothing much to prepare, but just bringing yourself and just yourself. So nothing much to prepare, but except for some materials maybe. You will need to prepare ahead of time. So maybe instead of using watercolor, you can also use acrylic, and maybe these are just tools that we will use in the sessions, in the art sessions.
Oh, so you leave it to them to, like, if it's drawing material, it's up to them to prepare. There's no specific
yes
that you must have in order to join the session.
Yes, because another thing about the especially for artful soulful journey, it's very much what you like as a person, what you would like to use in the session. It's not so much of me telling okay, you must use only acrylic paint, or you must only use watercolor, because this particular session for art for soulful journey is really about yourself, expressing yourself, and also discovering yourself. So it's really about you exploring, so I would just be there to facilitate and to guide and introduce the process, how to enjoy the session and to enjoy the whole method of understanding themselves.
Okay, so when attending the class, do you encourage it's for the child itself to join your class, or would you encourage together with one parent to sit by the child as they were going through the class?
It really depends on the situation, because if let's say parents want the session to be a family discovery, if it's a bonding session, then it can be done as a family. It can be done as a parent and a child, or siblings, like a brother and a sister, or it could also be done that way. So it's very flexible in that sense. I do personalize my classes, so it's not specifically just for children or only certain age, because it's actually quite fun to do it as a family. It's also quite fun to do it just friends, or just because online we can actually look at each other this way, but we don't exactly we are not exactly next to each other, but we could still communicate and interact in that sense. So in a way, if there's a group of friends who wants to do it, it's also workable.
Okay.
If it's just a child, it's also fine.
So, but the one that you offer, so those like family and friends, they can register together using the Kaki Seni Junior platform.
Yes.
Or they can make a separate arrangement with you.
They can make a separate arrangement, or just email me directly, or on my Instagram, they can contact me there. Yeah. So it's a personalized session where it's not just bound to what I have offered in kakiseni.junior.com.
Interesting. So it's like art. Yeah, it's like you say, it's art for bonding, art for self-discovery. It's like that's really great. Okay, so you were saying, so the benefits that a person or a child or any participant attending your class is that self-discovery, you said, and then maybe along the way because they were drawing, I guess you could also spot their talent. Is that
Yeah.
among the benefits of the class?
Basically, the class session is the way I approach my class would be it's very much hands-on, where I would observe each participant of how they are to differentiate, because the whole idea of my session is to identify their full potential. Because how I approach my sessions are mainly this, and it's not about everyone have to be the same. It's not about that at all. It's about them knowing more about their own skill, their confidence, and their ability in what they can do. So so it's very much a lot of observation, and I would say what they learn from the session is to observe things closer, and also they would probably learn, you know, what storytelling is, because art is also you basically telling a story about yourself or anything that you want to talk about, right, in your art. And basically also to the students will also understand the whole idea about trusting their abilities. That's really is the main objective in my session. So it's not it's not about who can paint better or who can do this better. It's more discovering it. Let's discover it together.
My philosophy, well, I'm a believer in learning, relearning, and reinventing self. I believe humans are made to absorb knowledge and skills in anything they desire, and in finding their full potential.
Okay. So in the other side of your class, okay, so you had 3 offerings just now on the Kaki Seni Junior platform. Okay, the other one is the video editing, right? So how about the video editing classes? Can anybody join the class?
Yes, it's most of my classes are all ages, so it's not just for children. So basically, like for the editing, even though it seems quite technical, it looks technical. A lot of parents like, are you sure? I don't think my 9-year-old, 10-year-old child can understand. So just to share a story, I have actually taught a student who was 9 years old, but now he's 12. So he have first learned editing from me when he was 9. But recently during MCO, the first beginning of the year, he completed a session with me. So he is 12 now. So he have completed the session and he could edit very well, and he even edited a movie trailer. So basically, my class for visual editing is very hands-on. So you'll be given a task to complete. So not just about learning, the theory of it, but also doing it itself to actually edit, to actually have a final product that they can come up with at the end of the session, at the end of the class. So like for editing, it's not a one-off session. It cannot be like a one-day thing. So participant will have to need to actually complete like a whole full set of 5-day session or 8-day session, 8-day session, or the most is 10 days. But it really depends on how much you would like to learn, because as I say, it's all personalized. So I usually personalize my session. So if let's say the student couldn't make it, couldn't learn so much technical, I just try to make it more simplify, where it could also be fun, but also at the same time learning how to edit something at the end of the session. So for a real deal session, it would be like 8 days and 10 days. But if it's just to experience what editing is all about, you can take up the class for 3 days, 3 sessions, like that. Yeah.
Do they need a high-spec computer to do editing, fancy stuff like that?
Usually usually for editing, it will require such things. I mean, of course, you need to have a computer, but the software, there are free softwares available, which I will introduce, and so the students will basically learn the software as well as learning how to edit to complete an editing. Yeah.
So then, in by way of product, apart from editing, they have to know about storyline and
That's
so on.
right.
That's how they came up with that.
Storytelling. Yes. So
Yeah. So
it's all covered. It's all not just about the art itself, not just
uh-huh.
about the skill, but it's
Uh-huh.
also the in between of it. It's like discovering your ability, trusting yourself to push
Mm-mm.
yourself harder. Yeah, it's all that.
Oh, then there's the other class that you have, which is the wayang kulit of something that the shadow play, right?
Yes, shadow play.
The
Uh,
shadow play.
is basically there are two different types of shadow play where people actually call it as shadowgraphy. Shadowgraphy is more of the tangan. You use your hands to create shadows. But shadow play is more of using puppet and all that. So in the session, I'll introduce both, a bit of both, and first of all, before understanding the whole technique, they will need to see some pictures that I will introduce some pictures for them to understand the methods, and then they will learn how to create the puppet, to actually create their own characters, and then play and perform it and play with the wayang. Yeah.
Very interesting because then it's like a progression. I see some sort of progression, like the self-discovery, and then maybe from the shadow play, maybe they'll learn something, and then after that they got a material, then they can edit it themselves, and then like there's a whole journey there for them to discover in terms of arts and visuals and so on. Thank you for sharing it with us. I mean, there's so much. Unfortunately, I don't have any kids anymore. Quite young. Everybody
But
knows.
you yourself can join. It's not for children. I mean the sessions are open for all ages. Believe me, it's not just for children. It's actually good for all ages because in general, art help us to somehow allow ourselves to have some fun, but at the same time to also learn more about yourself.
My goal in teaching art is not just about the art itself. It's mainly because I believe art nurtures our senses, and it's important for us to discover our ability to grow and find our true potential through our senses.
Okay. I have to see whether actually you are welcome. Can allow me to join in, but I have to see whether Kaki Seni Junior platform says okay. Can I join the class without the child?
But it's okay. I mean, like I think it's fine. I mean, of course, we the whole idea of Pakistani Junior is to have children for to actually join the sessions and all the classes. But in general, I think most of other teachers who are offering this online with Kaki Seni, they do have this for adults as well. I mean, like it's also for other ages. And if I'm not mistaken, they've also announced this before that if parents would want to join, it's fine. It's available. We would open the class for parents.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. That's an initiative for everybody to know that, yeah, well, everybody is a kid at heart somehow or other. Then we should try to explore and bring it out sometimes, especially during such stressful time like now. Okay, there's something that we need to explore. Thank you so
I
much
think
for
it's a
sharing
very
with us.
good time. It's a very good time right now to promote art for family. It's very good for now, especially. It's quite challenging with whatever is going on right now. And
Yeah.
thank you for having me. Thank you for promoting Kaki Seni Junior. And please come and log on to Kaki Seni Junior. And there's so much classes available for all of you out there.
Thank you so much for that. But last one. So what
Okay.
goal in teaching art? I mean, the various classes that you have, the various mode of uh, delivery that you have. The passion that you shoot is so like inspiring. Like, so what's your goal actually in teaching art?
For me, my goal in teaching art is not exactly just about the art itself. it's very much about understanding, exploring your senses, because we are born with senses, and art allows you to explore that. And among the things that we introduce children when they were young, I mean, like everyone will go through a process of understanding, your senses. So even though art may not seem to be a common thing, but for me as a person who have a lot of experience and background in art, I feel that art has given me a different perspective in life, and it actually allows you to understand yourself and your abilities very well, because you will explore and you will make decisions, you find solutions, and you keep on, you constantly find ideas and solutions through art. So this process and this training is actually sharpening your senses. So this is the reason why I introduce art, open classes for a lot of people, and not just children but everyone, to explore their senses.
Yeah, I guess it's a complementary. The left brain, right brain. They always say it's like left brain, right brain. So you just have to just
Betul, yes.
open both sides.
Yes.
Become a more wholesome person.
Yeah, because it needs a lot of decision making. Even though it's creative, even though you're doing something creative, but you are also making decisions. You're also exploring solutions. If I don't do this, what will I do? Should I do that? Should I do this? So basically, it's a very good training to every individual to explore.
I feel practicing any form of art, no matter how well or badly, it is a way to make our soul grow. It's the ability to begin a training. It's like a training process. It's like a constant healing process by allowing ourselves to do self-exploration and self-expression. Because art environment, learning environment encourages us to cherish intuition, uncertainties, certainties, develops creativity, and to constantly search for new ideas and solutions. And it's critical thinking too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again. So to end this, I just have to recap everything. Please log in to Kaki Seni Junior platform and check out the initiative that is not only for children who wants to discover their passion, but also about getting exposure to learn more through arts and culture. All right, thank you, Linda, for joining us. And for other resources on entrepreneurship, browse through efm.live, which has more than 1,000 podcasts available for you to choose from. See you in our next podcast. See you in your workshop, Linda. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.